Ashley, I will just pass it over to you if you want to introduce yourself real quick and tell everyone a little bit about you, and then we'll go right into branding.
Sounds good. Okay, guys, let's try this again. Okay, hold on. Little bit. Okay, I can't find you guys. Can you guys see me though?
Yeah.
Okay, then it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I'm doing the screen share correctly here in a second, but there's been so many buttons that I've pushed, I'm not sure if it's working correctly, but I think I have everything put together that needs to be put together. Okay, so yes, my name is Ashlee Buchert. I'm a Beachbody coach. I've been a Beachbody coach since 2009. That was kind of like my birth date, if you will, being a coach, but and most of you do know me. But I started working as a coach, so my start date as a coach was actually May of 2010. So going on 8 years in May, which is really crazy to think about. But I've been with the company for a long time. I've seen the growth of the company. I've seen, people explode, people come, people go. Some people have stopped and started coaching several times in the midst of it all. And I've kind of just stuck it out. And this team that we're all on right now, I mean, if you're on Holly's team or Emily's team, you're on my team. So that's the cool thing. I'm kind of your grandma or your great-great-grandma if we've never met. But I've been in this business for a long time. It is the stability of my family. Not alone. Brad does his share too, but I will say for a couple of years, this became kind of our sole income, and we really relied on Beachbody to do that. So it can make wonders happen for you and your family, which is really amazing. Now tonight, some of you guys are even guests that I've invited on here because I think this speaks to anyone in any business. Now the great thing is I'm going to talk specifically to coaching at the very, very end and how we can use this as coaches to separate ourselves, because having a brand identity is super important, obviously, because you don't want to be like every other coach on social media. So it's important to know who you are, what your brand identity is, so that you can attract the appropriate customers and clients to your business, no matter what business that you're in. So I'm hoping that I can lead you guys through that tonight and teach you a little bit of what I've learned over the past. So first and foremost, before we get started, am I on screen share? Do you guys see what I have in front of me right now? Which will be a PowerPoint presentation right now. Do you guys see that?
No, but I can see how I can make you the host now. So let me just do that.
Okay, yeah, if you can make me, okay, you just made me the host too. I just saw that. Yeah, if you can make me make me screen share. I had it set before we clicked over, and now for some reason my whole Zoom thing is gone out of sight. So I don't even know where my Zoom guy is right now. And I don't want you guys to have to be waiting on me any longer than you have to be. So
I think since I made you the host, I think since I made you the host.
Okay, I got screen share.
Click it
now. Okay, here we go. Clicking screen share. Just let me know. Can you see me and my kiddos?
Yes.
Cool. So now you guys have all access to my computer. Let's hope no bad pictures pop up. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so let's talk about branding. I'm going to just pull it up right here in front of me. It's not like an official PowerPoint, but I can share this with you guys afterwards. It's just going to kind of help me walk through the main points that I want to share with you guys. But you guys know social media is where it's at. I mean, a lot of coaches actually run their entire business through social media, never even leaving the house. And one of the things I've heard over the years, some of the excuses that some coaches have made is I live in a town of 300 people and I don't know enough people. We all know that that's not really the truth. Because of social media, your outreach is endless. So it's important to separate yourself, to know who your clients are, to know who you are. What are you trying to attract? Who are you trying to attract? It's super important that we go through that too. So the 3 different things we're going to talk about is your personal presentation, your visual presentation, and also your engagement, all encompassing your brand. So you've got your personal brand components, you've got the visual components of branding yourself, and then you've got the engagement and what you're going to do for the outreach of your brand to get awareness to your brand. Engagement/awareness, we'll call it that. So I want you guys to ask yourself these questions. What do you want to convey to your audience? So as a coach, you need to know, what's your message? Who are you? We've been talking, and this works for any business owner. You need to know, what your niche market is going to be. For example, this is kind of overdone, I think, but a lot of us do fitness, food, fashion, faith, and finances. I'll just throw that other F word out there. Finances typically is not one for a coach, but you guys know what I mean. So we always say, like, think of the 5 things that make you you, and that's kind of what you go off of when you're trying to convey your message, your identity to your audience. So really quick on a piece of paper, if you guys have your notes out, which you should, you need to think about, 3 to 5 things that kind of make you who you are. So for me, even though it's not an F word, I just think of the color purple. And I think most people think of the color purple when they think of Ashlee and my brand, they think of purple, right? I'm not saying you guys should go dye your hair or get any crazy colors, but you need to think of, like, what would people think of you? What would your billboard of you look like? What's the color scheme? What's the imagery that you want to create? Are you, chic? Are you cool? Are you modern? Are you a hipster? Like, what is your image that you convey? You need to know all of those things about yourself. And then, are you into food? As a Beachbody coach, obviously nutrition is part of it. So I think that in some way, shape, or form, we all have to kind of convey some sort of identity with food and healthy eating habits, right? But think beyond that. Think beyond fitness. Think beyond food. What else are you besides those 2 things? Because that's just Beachbody, right? Fitness and food. Beachbody On Demand, we've got our fitness covered, and Shakeology, we've got our food covered. There's more than that. You need to separate yourself from other people. So what are the other things that make you unique? You need to know those things and how you're going to convey those things to your audience. Okay? So how do you want your audience to feel when they see you on social media? Think about that. How do you want them to feel? I think of when I wrote that down, I thought, who knows Allie Upham? We all know Allie Upham. You could easily know Allie Upham because she's a 15-star diamond coach in the company. And she was a master trainer with me the entire time I've been a master trainer. We've been right there together. And if you look at her and what she conveys in literally, guys, 99.9% of her pictures, what is she doing? Anyone follow her? Does anyone know what Allie Upham does in every single picture she takes? Almost every picture. Because I make a comment about it every time I see her. She looks what? Happy. She's laughing. Literally laughing in almost every picture I've ever seen of her. She's always doing the funny laugh thing. And she's just happy. So that's part of her identity, is she's a happy, smiley, laughable person. So you guys need to know, like, what do you want to come across? Are you more serious? Is there like something mysterious about you and you want people to know there's that mystery because it draws them in? Or are you just funny? Do you make silly faces? Do you find yourself having this little quirky smile all the time? Like, what are the things about you that separate you? And you need to convey that through your social media. Then what's the value that you bring to them? We all know the value that we can bring with Beachbody, but what's your personal value? That little nugget that you can give someone that the next coach next door can't, right? For me, I feel like I bring value in, I have a different way of motivating people with my energy. I don't think every coach does it the same way as me. So I like to use different ways of doing videos to convey that personality type that I have. And it can come across through fitness, or it can come across just me talking to you. But I think that separates me from other people. So it's important just to know what value you bring. What's your dietary differences from the other person? I can teach people how to eat paleo. That's going to separate me, right? Some of you guys are really good at portion control. Some of you guys do intermittent fasting. Some of you guys like to play around with ketosis. Like, what is something unique about you that you can offer other people? And you need to convey that through your social media as well, with what you do, with Instagram stories, with Snapchat, things like that. We'll go into that in a little bit. And how do you stand out? Kind of the same thing. What makes you you? I have really taken a turn in my social media with more of a sense of professionalism. And I'm playing with it to see what kind of people it attracts. And what I've learned is by having more professional pictures out there, and I don't mean like I hire a photographer to take every picture that I post. I don't. In fact, I think all my pictures lately I've posted, I've taken. I've had people ask me if I get photo shoots, but I guarantee you all the ones that look professional, I put a camera on the floor with a 10-second timer, but I planned out my wardrobe. I made sure my makeup looked right. Everything was planned out, and that's professionalism, not hiring someone to do the work for you and take the pictures and all that. I'm not saying that. But since I've done this whole different branding and professionalism, I'm attracting different people. I'm attracting people that respect that and that are willing, honestly, to pay money to work with me. So I feel like I've kind of met like a different tier of people as far as income goes that take this more seriously and are ready to say yes. So it's helped me in that sense as a Beachbody coach. Okay. I think I may have gone on too far. No, I didn't. Okay. So you guys know that anything eye-catching nowadays is really going to set you apart. So imagery is huge, especially Instagram. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight has to do with Instagram, because in the last 4 to 5 months, that's just really where I've put all my focus. And I think you guys could see that if you go back and look at any of my posts from Scotland, right after Scotland to now. Go check out the difference in my post, in my branding, in my theming, like all of that stuff. You'll see a huge difference. But I wanted to really set myself apart. So like it says, it's the digital era. Visual content must play a pivotal role. So you really have to come up with those nice pictures. And we're going to talk about creating that imagery that just sets you apart from other people versus just taking a picture in the moment and posting it straight to Instagram or slapping something on it like text. Instead of doing stuff like that, there's ways to make it look very visually appealing, which makes you look more professional. Okay, it sets you apart. So people like visuals and they gravitate towards them. And then here's just some percentages if you guys want to look at them really quick. Again, I'm going to share this with you. But 65% of people are visual learners. Okay, 90% of the information transmitted to the brain is visual. So that's why we always say when you make a post, make sure there's a picture attached, because people want the visual first and then they'll read the text, right? Okay. Posts and presentations with visual aids are 43% more persuasive. And we all know this stuff, but it's just good to see some of that. And there's some other things right here that you can read really quick. Gosh, I can't talk tonight. Posts with images get 94%. It's because I had a typo. Posts with images get 94%. Okay, videos can convert 80% higher, 86% higher. I do agree with that. I did a Instagram live over a dumb workout yesterday that was like 5 minutes long to Justin Bieber. And I don't even do Instagram live at all. I've done like 3 in my whole lifetime on Instagram. And I got like 50 new followers just from doing an Instagram video of me dancing to Bieber and then popping out some workouts and being done. So it's so true. Like videos can definitely increase conversion rates, and it was proven yesterday with that. Okay, you can use infographics and theme your grid on Instagram if you guys need some filler spaces. But what's really important, and I'm going to back up for a minute because I didn't make slides for every single thing I'm doing, but what's really important whenever we're talking about creating graphics is that you do it in a way that it's not just graphics, because people want to see the you behind everything, right? But this just talks a little bit about infographics and why it's important to do those. But some of you guys may not use that at all on your Instagram feed. So you know how you see some people's grids on Instagram where it'll be a picture, a graphic, and a picture, and every third will be a graphic? That's great. You can do that. It's a good filler space because you're supposed to be posting at least once a day on Instagram anyways, right? So sometimes you're like, well, crap, I don't know what to post today. Infographics or just graphics in general are really good filler spots, and it makes your page, your grid, which is the outline of Instagram, like when you can see 9 different pictures, it makes that look really cohesive and very professional, okay? So you just want that sense of professionalism, okay? Creating graphics. What I want to go back to for a minute before I skip ahead too much is talking about We talked about who you are, like who your brand is. So those 3 to 5 things, right? And then the other components are the visual components that I want to talk about. So you guys need to, if I were you, I would develop a logo. I would hire someone on Upwork. It's Elance changed into Upwork. You can get someone to make you a logo for, I mean, probably as cheap as $25. I think I paid $50 for someone to come up with my logo like 5 years ago. Yeah, it was when Brooks was born. So about 5 years ago. And I just basically said, here's the colors. My hair's purple. Give me something. And we just went back and forth. But, you know, if you go to Upwork, you can hire someone to do that. You can also hire someone to make a website for you if you want to go that far. It cost me $100 for my first ever website. Super easy, and it gives everyone a landing page to go to, which you can put your Beachbody stuff on. But I'm just saying, this gives you another sense of professionalism. But you really want to make sure that you've got your logo. Your homework assignment was to choose a color palette. So when you guys were searching through Pinterest, did you guys find a color palette that looks good to you? You usually go off one strong color first. So for me, it's purple. And then from purple, like I typed in purple color palettes on Pinterest, and it gave me all these different options. One was like purple, lavender, pink, blue, and gray. And I was like, I don't want to do all those crazy colors. So I was like purple, lavender. And when I looked at my Instagram, I noticed I was putting in a lot of blue grays, and a lot of my filters I was choosing was like a highlighted, whitened picture. So I was like, okay, blue gray works. And so I ended up picking 5 colors that will be my brand. I also sent those 5 colors to my website developer, who will be putting it all together. So everything's going to look very cohesive, from my Instagram to my Facebook to my website. So when you guys are really trying to brand yourself, you want to have a color palette in mind. So, you know, like Tiffany blue. You want to use Tiffany blue? Awesome. What colors would look good with Tiffany blue? If you like blacks, okay, that's cool, but you probably want to have a pop of color, unless your entire scheme is going to be gray, black, and white. And there are some Instagram accounts that look super cool, having gray, black, and white, and then those neutral whites and pales. Looks really cool. So think about little things that are going to set you apart. What I've noticed lately is a lot of people on Instagram are using that blush color. So a lot of people are doing it, which means it's super popular, but is it overdone? Kind of have to evaluate those kinds of things. What's going to make you stand out, okay? Don't go copy the 15-star diamonds and do every single thing they do. That's not going to separate yourself, okay? And it's not going to give you a 15-star diamond qualification. All right, so figure out your logo, figure out your colors, even fonts, like the kinds of fonts that you use, make it all consistent. If you're writing on your pictures, if you're doing, different italics and stuff like that, then it needs to all be consistent. So your colors from top to bottom need to be consistent. Your fonts need to be consistent. I'm starting the blog. I've already written my first couple of blogs. They're not published yet on my page, but even my fonts and my color scheme on my blog will match my Instagram and my website. So make everything super consistent. And then you guys already know this, but have a clear call to action as well with every post that you make. Okay, so even on a graphic, you want that. Okay. Second thing to think of is your layout. So we're still thinking visuals right now. So when you're on Instagram, for example, I had it pulled up. Let me see if I can still get it back up here. Apple, get glam, document. Hold on one moment and I will get back to it. Ooh, it's hard to see behind here. Okay, this is my beautiful friend right there. Her name is Savannah. I love her to death. She's not the reason I'm doing Instagram right now. She's just there. But okay, let's go to Sakura. This is a good person to follow for branding. Sakura, Sakura. I don't know if I spelled. Yeah, there she is. Sakura. Considine. So I'm going to click on her and see if I can show you guys her layout. Okay. So what do you guys know about her right now, just looking at her? So first of all, cute picture. She wants to convey, like, I'm a sweetheart. And you can just tell by the picture. For me, if you looked at my Instagram picture, it's like, kind of like, not punk rocker-ish, but like kind of wild a little bit. Like I chose a picture of me like throwing my purple hair back and like, 'cause that's how I am. I'm loud. Okay, but I want to go back to Sakura. I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the two of us, because your picture on your profile, any profile, Facebook, Instagram, everything matters. It's the first impression they have of you. What do you want it to convey about who you are and what your brand is? And then if you look through her pictures, what's her color scheme? Does it match? Is something oddly out of place, or is it very professional and cohesive? And then what does it say about her? Okay, obviously she loves her boyfriend and she's super sweet. She looks super professional. You can tell she likes fashion because almost all of her stuff is this, right? So it just shows you. There's a girl, a Beachbody coach, Haley. What's her last name? She's the one with is it the pink hair? Crap, I just forgot her name. You guys know what I'm talking about? Is it Haley or is it?
Christian. Haley Christian.
Thank you. Hay. I don't know. LE. I should know this because, oh, there she is, Haley Christian. Okay, now look at her. So what does this say about her? Right? She's got pink hair, so automatically you're like, okay, she's probably a cool chick, you know? And then as you're looking through her pictures, you start to see some cohesiveness to them, right? I mean, the pink hair helps a lot. It really does. Having purple hair makes things cohesive without even having to try that hard. But even like the types of coloring that she chooses, I mean, you can just tell that like these people have an idea in mind when they're actually making these posts. So I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention so that you could see what it looked like, okay? But I want you guys to think of your layout as well. I was thinking of one more that I want to show you because she is called Blog With Me. And this girl, her layout is different. It's not just pictures. So this is a good example of how you would use product, picture, or graphic. I should say product, graphic, and herself. Her, like, me, you, okay? So this is an example of someone, and she blogs. She teaches bloggers how to blog. She's got a great following. And look how she's done it. Like, look at the beauty in her color scheme. Look how clean her layout is. This attracts people to you, right? So look at every, what is that? Every third, every three, every two, she has a graphic. And then she throws herself in there, and it has a product. So you guys could use this with Beachbody. You could somehow put your shake on a really pretty glass, and you could have a cup of your shake one day, and then you could do a cup of coffee for another layout. You could do your fitness wardrobe. So your what do we call this? Your flat lay, like the product flat lay, could be your fitness wardrobe for the day, and you're standing over top of it, and you're actually taking a picture of your shoes, your pants, and your sports bra that you're going to work out in today. And then guess what? Your content would talk about how you're doing 80-day obsession, day 49. So that's how you're going to attract them, with a picture that looks super professional that makes them go, okay, what's that about? What's she wearing? And then also you're creating value. You're not just telling them, and I found these cute pants at Lorna Jane. So now you're like helping them style themselves while you're sneaking in the Beachbody stuff, right? So that is just one example on how you can create a really pretty layout and design that looks as professional as this, that makes someone want to go, okay, I want to know more about this person, because you're creating value, but they're also giving me a glimpse of who they are in their life. And it's super important to do that too, okay? All right, so let's go back. So we talked about the layout. We talked about the visualization. I'm not going to go into fonts. I mean, fonts, you can figure that out. It's pretty self-explanatory. And the last one is just basically your brand awareness. And let me see if I can get back to my PowerPoint. Where did I put you? There you are. Okay, so let's go through the last little bit here. So there's what I just talked about. You guys will have access to this, don't worry. Let's move this guy over here. So we all should know who our audience is, right? And we should know what they want from us, because that's what we're delivering with our content, with our pictures, right? Be consistent. when you guys are using products and using, this is to create brand awareness, okay? So I'm sure you already do this, but maybe you don't, because 5 months ago I didn't do this. I tag every single person, place, brand, anything. If I am at a restaurant, I tag them. If I am drinking this juice, I tag who it's made. It has nothing to do with Beachbody. If I'm using this candle right now, I will tag this candle in my Insta story, because all of that makes what you're doing searchable for other people to come across you. And I like those accidental I came across you, right? I love it when people are like, oh, I just happened to be searching on this page and, you know, this is what I saw. I saw you and I just started following you. But you've got to tag yourself or tag the product or the brand name in everything you do. Stories, your posts, tell people, you know, where you got your clothes, even if it, you know, because we don't want to just be Beachbody. We do, don't get me wrong. We want to, if people only see you post Beachbody 100%, every single post has to be Beachbody, no, they're over it. Okay, I promise. So you want to draw them in and then triple the Beachbody crumbs, okay? But tag influencers, tag products, offer questions, offer polls. Having polls in your Insta stories is amazing for getting people to start feeling confident enough to talk to you, because after they start clicking on the yes or no on a poll, the next thing they're going to do is start asking you questions in a DM, a direct message. And that is an open opportunity to invite them to the next challenge group. I get more people off my personal DMs through Instagram to join challenge groups and buy stuff from Beachbody than I do in any other avenue that I have, because I'm so open on how I share stuff through my Insta stories. So if you guys are not using Insta stories, that could be a whole other thing. You should be doing that for sure. But to gain brand awareness, the higher number of views on your Insta stories are, the more your posts get seen. I don't know if you guys knew that that was correlated, but if you can build your numbers up on your Insta stories, your posts are going to get bigger. More eyeballs are on, which is more brand awareness, which is what we're talking about. So I just want to make sure I told you guys that. Use relevant hashtags. There is a hashtag creator that I like called Focal Mark. You get to put in, let me see if I can go up here. You get to put in your categories. So if I'm in Oklahoma, I'm going to put Oklahoma. If I'm in Arkansas, I'm going to change it to Arkansas. So you get to put in where you are. You get to put in 2 styles. So maybe it's fitness and it's fashion, or maybe it's fitness and it's motherhood. But you put in 2 styles, 1 location, and then on your camera, you can choose iPhone, or if you're taking a picture through a regular camera, which we rarely do, then it gives you hashtags to use, and you just copy them straight to either Instagram or to your clipboard and then paste it. But when I want to change it up and kind of test out new hashtags, that's what I use. So that's a good app called Focal Mark. Okay, so that's what it looks like, Focal Mark. Okay, and then I'm not gonna talk about all the rest of these, but seeking out collaborations, guys. You want to know how I got like almost 500 new followers in 3 months? 3 months? No, 4 months. November, December, January, February, it's March. So from November to now, I've increased my followers by 500 because of collaboration and tagging the out of everything. Seriously, that's it. I've collaborated with people in my hometown. I go, hey, I'm fitness, you're fashion, you're beauty, you're spray tan. Let's all come together and do an Instagram giveaway, and all of our followers are going to circulate and they're going to follow each other. That is how I've gone up in numbers. You want to pick people that are going to help you out that have to do with your brand, right? I'm not going to go partner with someone that I would never use their product. That doesn't make sense. But I want you guys to think about other things to build your brand awareness, because that's more eyeballs on you, which equals more invitations if you open your mouth and ask them to join you. You still have to open your mouth, right? You can't expect to do all this work and have all these people coming in if you're not willing to do the work and say, hey, now it's time for you to join me and do XYZ in my challenge group next week. So you still have to ask them, but this is going to get more eyeballs to you, and this is going to help you in that sense. Okay. And then here's your other things just to look at. Choose your channels. Which platforms are the best ones? You know, for me, it's Facebook and Instagram. Yes, I have all the others, but I don't spend all my time there. I make sure I spend my time on these two specifically. And then, yeah, just read the rest of them to yourself, guys, to go through this. But you definitely want to work on your engagement. Engagement matters more than followers. You guys know that, right? So whenever you're starting to, when you make a post, make sure you hang tight for a while, because as soon as people start commenting, you want to comment back immediately, because that's going to get you greater engagement and more eyeballs on your page. Okay. So we talked about, let's recap. We talked about personal branding. Who am I? Who do I want to attract? What message am I trying to convey? We talked about the visual components of branding, you know, your logo, your color schemes, your layout, like how does your grid look? Is it professional? Is it cohesive? Is it portraying who you really are? Is there a picture of your dog randomly when everything else is about fitness and food? That probably isn't very cohesive. All right. And then your engagement, how to increase awareness, how to increase engagement, super important. Go back through all those notes, and I will share this with you guys. But I think, yep, that's all I have. So do we have any questions? I think we have 8 minutes left before it kicks us out.
Thank you, Ashley. That was amazing. I've been trying to like build my brand too, of like the colors and everything, and it seems like at first I was like, this is overwhelming when I first started it, but how you broke it down, it's more simple, and like we can do it. So I guess my question would be like, how do you start? So right now I use the same filter on all of my photos, but how do you take that to the next level of like, because yours has like the purple colors and like other brands have those whole color schemes. Like, how would you say, besides just filters, how do you take it to the next level of like making it look professional, I guess?
Okay. The last thing you said, how do you take it to the next level? No, I didn't get any of that.
Oh, I said I'm just like making it more professional, or like making it look better.
And I may need an example of what you're talking about, but I mean, you're saying you're using the same filters. So like mine, the second filter is what I use, and it always lightens it up, right? It's probably just the process of what you did to prepare for those pictures, like how in that setting, how professional do you look? Like was it just an in the moment selfie type picture, or did you literally plan it out? Because what you'll see is the people that have the super professional looking like pictures, they probably took 15 of the same picture, and then they probably edited it in Lightroom. So that's something you guys can get, is Lightroom. It's an app, LR. There's also Photoshop Express, but Lightroom is what a lot of the bloggers and the really good content creators are using right now, is Lightroom. Or you can pay for Photoshop, but that's even more expensive. But doing that, and like having, like buying a wardrobe, for example, like your next 5 outfits, have your color schemes in mind when you're purchasing those outfits. Or your food utensils. Like if you know now that you're going to use red in everything you do, then it would probably be a good idea to go get some really clean white plates and maybe some red coffee mugs, or like a pop of color of whatever your brand color is going to be. And I think that's really going to start making it cohesive. So then you're just using the same plate or the same backdrop, or all of your wardrobes are kind of starting to look the same. And then again, you planned for it, so the lighting's going to be right because it wasn't just in the moment. And I think that's just going to add that professionalism. Like I kind of do a photo shoot once a week now. So I treat my fashion category, if you will, like it's a true job, you know? So when I'm going to go take some pictures out on town, I know what day and what time of day I'm going to go do it. And I know, like, I obviously use my camera, so I don't have to hire anyone, but I know exactly that I need to have my makeup on point, my hair done for that day, right? So I would just say, if you're going to start trying to make it look more cohesive in that sense, professionalism, pick a day of the week and say you might wear 5 outfits that day, 5 fitness outfits, like beach body related stuff. Or maybe it's a day where you're going to food prep and you're going to make a bunch of little different things and take pictures of them all so that you have that content available for the future. Does that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ashlee, I have noticed a difference in your social media posts on Instagram lately, and I noticed that shift because I noticed your photos were popping up and they were just looking like super awesome and clean, and I was like, wait a second, I went to your account and I could tell a difference, and it's exactly what you're talking about, more professional, and it's just more eye-catching in my feed, and anyway, I have noticed a big difference, so way to go, it looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just started asking questions. You guys and ask me questions because I've got friends that are bloggers that have been doing this for a couple of years. And I was just curious and I was like, tell me what you're doing. What's different about you and me? And that was really what it is. Like they treat their wardrobes like a job. They treat their photo shoots like a job. I was just like, oh, okay. So it's not, because we get used to just doing it in the moment, selfie and here, and oh, I'm working out here. But instead, if you just plan for it, then I think that just separates you from everyone else, And I still think those are good. Selfies in the moment are good because you want to show the real side of you too. But if you want that eye-catching stuff and you want to attract that market that's looking for that, and I think that's the market that's ready to spend money, I feel like those are the people that are like, they're all into it and they're just like, next thing I can do and buy, So it makes it for an easier audience, an easier sale, for sure. And they engage more. I've noticed that.
And I think you can use the Instagram stories more for the behind the scenes, and then all your photos look nice on your Instagram feed, but your Instagram stories, you can kind of like be a hot mess and show them the behind the scenes stuff. And
Yep.
Ashlee touched on this, and I just want to reiterate it too. She said, you can do all this, but if you're not having those conversations and doing your power hour and doing your invites, then none of this stuff matters. Like, yeah, maybe you may have like one person be like, oh, what do you do? But the beginning, because I know a lot of you girls are newer coaches on the call, and like I'm still building my business. So I'm doing my messages every day, doing my invites every day. So it helps when you message someone and they go look at your page and it looks more professional. But if you're not doing your power hour, don't even bother with this stuff. I hate to say don't bother, but it's important to do your power hour and focus on that and not just get caught up in the brand stuff. So I hope that makes sense.
Totally. Makes 100% sense. No, that's good stuff. Does anyone else have any questions for any of us? Not just me. And I know we have less than a minute, but Emily, you probably shown your team, but the highlights, that's a really good way to brand yourself too, using your past stories and having those highlights with that text at the beginning that says food, fitness, fashion. So check out Emily's, check out mine. I'm still developing a couple of mine, but that's really good too.
Exactly. And those can be like your passions, the things. I just called myself on my phone somehow, but those can be your passions. So like I have one that's just like dog mom, and you can just see, and those are my colors, that like blue and teal. And then it just, I have dog mom, I have relationships. So it's not all just health and fitness, but it shows those other aspects of who you are as a person.
Yep. Well, we have less than a minute. It's probably about to kick us off, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Ashlee, it was super helpful.
Yeah. Any questions, just hit me up, guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.